Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to The Sims 4, and welcome to a speed build. We're jumping on the bandwagon today. We're doing a mostly glass house because of the glass walls. I've actually had this build done for a while. I had this build started even longer before that. I started it I think the day that glass walls came out. In The Sims 4, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, give it just a second here and I will show you. We will turn all of the walls in the house, sans the bathroom walls, glass. And I was really excited about it. A lot of people were doing it online. It's been very, very fun to build these glass houses. Everyone has a little bit of a different take on it, and I wanted to do a fun cantilevered home because I thought this sort of mid-mod idea would really work with the glass walls. But this build I got started and it got pretty far. And then it got pushed back for other things. And then I actually got it done. And I was all yeah, I'm gonna, do the voiceover for it and get it out on the channel. It's gonna be really great. And then it just kept getting pushed back because of other things. And it finally just kind of got to the point where I was alright, I have to put this out. So ta-da! Here it is. I am really proud of it. I really like the way this one turned out. It took a little bit of thinking. It is 1 bedroom, 2 bath, except kind of 1.5 bath because the downstairs is just a powder room. This house is definitely not one to have guests in, definitely not one to have children in, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of gonna do the let's be real here moment. I don't know how truly livable this house is because it's a glass house, right? So the only places you are truly going to have privacy in this home are in the bathrooms. I did make sure the bathrooms were private. There are rules here. But that was kind of the point, right? Is we wanted, the house needed the illusion of being see-through. But I did want to do a few things. I wanted a fireplace. I wanted, obviously a kitchen wall, although the kitchen wall is not all the way up, which does bring me to my first bugaboo about this build, and another reason why it's not the most usable build. The kitchen, the lighting in the kitchen, because of the glass windows, is borked. And so all of the cabinets are the same color, but is borked, and I opted to just leave it because I imagined if you were actually going to play in this home, you would probably close in some of the windows. Let's be fully real here. If I was going to play in this home, I would put I would probably leave a fair amount of the kitchen in windows, but I'd probably put blocks where then I would put that stacked stone, walls where I'd put the stacked stone, probably the same stone from the fireplace, and then probably around a corner or two to make it look structural. And then I would probably put this wall all the way up to the ceiling because I believe, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I believe yeah, there we go. I pull it down, which is a really cool idea, but I might end up putting it up to the ceiling because I think that would help with the lighting as well. I think the half wall is kind of goofing us a little bit. And then I think I would maybe upstairs actually make the bedroom a bedroom. Maybe even make the bedroom 2 bedrooms because it's huge, but I was trying to not put full walls in unless I absolutely had to give the illusion that the building was completely see-through, right? So it ends up being 1 bedroom because there was kind of no way to split it up other than there's kind of little pocket areas because of the bathroom, which you'll see upstairs. We'll get to that in a minute. But here I am working on the kitchen. I actually really liked how the kitchen looked with this little side piece over here that I just custom built. The problem is because they are such different colors, even though they're the same color, it ended up looking really obvious when it clipped. I think if we could fix the lighting in here, you could pull that off without it being a noticeable clip. But see how it's when it pans back over though, you'll see how it's gray. See how, yeah, it's varying shades of gray. Because of that, you can really see the the closet, the cabinets clipping into each other. So I do end up I think later in the build getting rid of that. I kind of just sat with it for a while. The kitchen is honestly my least favorite part of this entire build. My favorite part is the living room. And the living room is where it suddenly started to feel oh hey, wait, this is interesting. I could do something with this. And it actually went an entirely different way than I thought, because the original vibe was going to be incredibly ultra modern. I was going to do I didn't want pillows. I didn't want I wanted very much those super intense concept houses, from the magazines, the Russia Futurism concept houses. I was thinking that. And then I started working on it, and it slowly kind of turned into more of almost like Star Trek, that like warm retrofuturism where it's like, yeah, this is definitely like a show place, but there's a little bit more living happening here. It ended up being like, I was joking with my brother that it was like retro futuristic cabin in the woods, which makes no sense. But it was just like a lot more like warm tones, a little bit cozier, but still very much like space aged. And then I got to use the funky rug. I was so excited about this. This room also suffers a little bit from lighting. Also, this room suffers from something very specific that annoys me. And that is the ceilings are painted. They kept unpainting themselves in general, which is really annoying. So when you pull it off the gallery, it might end up unpainted. But do you see those squares? Those squares are painted. Do you see how they're not showing ceiling tiles? Yeah. See how I keep repainting them? Yeah, they will keep coming unpainted no matter what I do. Something about the platforms there, they will keep like unpainting themselves. Ultimately, I gave up. Ultimately, I gave up because they would not stay painted. They are painted. The game thinks they're painted. They're not showing painted, and I don't know why. Like, I've had this problem quite a bit. I've noticed more frequently. So because like, I love painted ceilings. I think they're really nice for screenshots. But a lot of the builds like I'm actually playing in or whatever, I don't look at the ceilings a lot. A lot of people don't look at the ceilings a lot. And so I don't notice it till I'm taking like screenshots or whatever. I end up seeing my ceilings unpainted in my screenshots, which is really frustrating because it's like, am I going to go back and take all the screenshots again? Or am I just going to acknowledge that it's probably going to be like unpainted when it comes off the gallery, you know? And it's like, well, I mean, I don't know. The thing is too, is like when I've pulled things off the gallery, I'll like, the ceiling will be completely unpainted. And I'm like, I know this person probably painted the ceiling, right? I wish they would be able to fix that. I understand why it's probably a problem, but I do wish they could fix it. Here we're just kind of trying to fix up the kitchen a little bit, decorate it. Again, I wanted it to be very sparse. There's not a ton of decor because I didn't want it. Like I said, the vibe was kind of show place. The vibe was sort of concept house. Like I could see a sim living here. I think you'd have to do some things to make a sim comfortable here. Like there's no computer in this house. There's no TV in this house. There is a bookshelf upstairs, but like your sim would be pretty minimalistic in this house. Like it would make maybe more sense to do like an office area upstairs, I think, but that didn't fit the vibe, right? That wasn't the vibe I wanted. That wasn't the like, you know, showplace of the future kind of vibe. So I didn't do it, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I think there's a seating area upstairs where you could trade it out for an office, I think. If you needed one, or like at least a desk and a computer would be fine. I mean, if you had like two sims living here and someone was playing on the computer, it might keep your other sim up kind of thing, but I think it would be okay. I think that would work. Here I'm trying to add a little bit more to the kitchen. I can't remember if it's here or if it's a little bit later that I ultimately decide to just get rid of these cabinets and just like make them last all the way through. That's another trick too I just saw myself do that I think everyone probably knows, but if you are ever like trying to place a wall item off a wall, the easiest answer honestly is to just delete the wall and put the thing away and then put your wall back. So like those cutting boards are wall pieces. They're meant to stick to a wall. They're meant to look like they're hanging from a wall, I think is what's happening. I believe they're cool kitchen stuff. But I was trying to lean them against the little cabinet here because I thought it made sense to have them leaned against the little cabinet here. I thought it was kind of a cute look. And so I had to delete the walls and then put them back because then they won't snap. And they won't snap to the wall once you put the wall back. But if I were to try to move them again, they would. So it's that's like a fun little trick. When I use it a lot, when I'm trying to put like a TV on a fireplace, because the TV will snap to the wall, which will be inside the fireplace, and I don't want that, right? So I will oftentimes delete the wall behind the fireplace and then put, especially like the frame TVs, and then I'll put the frame TV on the fireplace, and then I will put the wall back, and then the frame TV still works on the fireplace, but it's just not attached to the wall. So that's a fun little building trick. That's one of those things that like makes life a lot easier. It's like extra steps, but it's nice. It's helpful. See, I really love this living room. I was like really excited about this living room. And honestly, this little like showing around here might actually be when my baby brother walked in, and I was like, look at this thing that I'm building. I've had a couple experiences with that lately where my family has come in and looked at what I've built. Here I get to use the cool rug. Oh, I was so excited. I do love this rug. It is such a fun, funky rug, but it's kind of an odd size, so it makes it kind of hard to use. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the rug under here. I went very neutral. The entire like dining space is very neutral and quiet because it's just kind of out in the middle of the space. And I was like, it doesn't really need to be intense. There's like a little bit here with the stripes, but otherwise it's a very neutral space. And then I ended up walking away from this build for like a week. And so you'll start to see some Adventure Awaits stuff come out here. I don't know if I use much in this build, but now the Adventure Awaits pack is out with these like quick cuts that happened. I'm just trying to fill up this little space under the stairs. The stuff under here is not usable because it's under the stairs, but I just wanted it to look kind of put together, so there will be like a fun little thing under there. And I'm trying to figure out what I want the stairs to look like, because again, I was trying to give the impression that the house is see-through, so I wanted the stairs to be see-through, but I wanted them to be like, you know, a little more focused. And here I'm repainting my ceilings, and we're going to dive into the bathroom. Now down here, the bathroom is a half bath, and it's a half bath with a closet because I wasn't sure if I was going to have space to like do a dresser upstairs. I believe I did. I ended up with a dresser, but I wasn't sure if that was going to happen because of the layout of the upstairs. So I put a closet down here so that, you know, in a pinch, I kind of laid it out to make it look like it was like a bathroom closet, like your extra towels and like maybe your vacuum, maybe your like broom, winter boots, maybe, I don't know, you know, those kind of things, like extra toilet paper, maybe like, I was trying to think like what's in my bathroom, like I always have like guest supplies, stuff, things like that. That would be like what this would be for in real life. This whole house would be very weird in real life. This whole house would be like an Airbnb in real life. But like that's what I was thinking this closet was for. But for Sims gameplay, it's a closet that you can change your Sims clothes in and you can get into cast in. Along with these mirrors, there's lots of places to do so, but I always try to give that option. Also, I can't remember if you can just like change into in a mirror, whereas with a dresser you can do the like just change into your like whatever, which is kind of nice for gameplay. So that does exist in here, and if I recall, I remember thinking about it. I don't remember if I actually did it. Again, I built this a while ago. I believe there is a decoration box hidden next to that closet, because I believe that is live drag, which means you can pull it out and make it look like you're pulling it out from the closet and be able to decorate this place if you wanted to. If your sim was living here, you could decorate for the holidays if you wanted to. I think this place would look kind of cool with some fun Christmas lights on it, maybe. Not like maybe like the super like bright colorful ones, but like maybe some nice like white ones, like some like very classic lights might be kind of cool. And here I was kind of struggling with what I wanted the bathroom to look like. The biggest struggle down here, to be honest with you, was the wall height. The wall height you could really feel in this bathroom. Everywhere else downstairs, it kind of makes sense. It feels correct for the house because the windows, I think, help quite a bit. But in here, it really felt tall. And like I was imagining like actually using this bathroom to like freshen up or whatever, and I was like, I feel like this bathroom would probably realistically be kind of claustrophobic, which is a weird thing to say considering I just said it was so tall, but I feel like it would make you feel very like trapped in. And I didn't really know how to solve that, so I kind of just didn't. It kind of just lives. But it's a very sort of mid-mod bathroom. I think it's got some like older touches. I really like this tile, and I really like the tile combination with the wood and those little sconces. It almost feels like a little bit like a throwback, but like in a very sort of modern way, I guess. That's me sort of tooting my own horn. I really liked it, and it made me actually want to do some other things. It gave me some ideas for some other builds. I really like this bathroom. And that flooring I never used, that like kind of gray tile. I was like, I wanted to use some things in here that I never get to use, because again, it was supposed to be kind of like a model home, not like a super intense like legacy home or something like that. I guess what I'm hinting at here is maybe the usability isn't like perfect, you know. It was just like, it's like a fun showpiece. And here I'm playing with the design of the roof again, because I made the bathroom upstairs bigger because I moved the stairs like in the original, and I didn't realize I had done that. So I was like, okay, well I want to make the upstairs bathroom bigger anyway, because I want like a nice shower and stuff, because it's going to be the only full bath in the house. But then that like through pillar that I was using to ground the build didn't look right because the top was messed up, so I had to fix that. So that's what that all was me trying to figure out, because if you look at the build, which you'll see in the screenshots, if you look at the build, it looks like one big stone pillar with two big old like cantilevered glass pieces off of it. Well, one's cantilevered. And like It absolutely doesn't matter in The Sims, but I was kind of trying to get that geometry, like, kind of right. Here's a little seating area I was talking about that I think could be an office if you really wanted to. Like, you could put a desk in here and have it, like, face out. The thing is it does face the road, so any Sims walking by would be like, hey, what's up, neighbor? And you'd be like, hey, what's up? Which would also happen if you were sitting here. So, like, I don't particularly see the sitting area, like, happening a lot. Again, everything about this build is under the auspice of, this is, like, one of those, like, magazine ads from the 1950s. The, like, we're gonna be on Mars in 10 years kind of ads. Not maybe actually a place for the Sims to live. But the other thing, too, is a Sim could totally live here because Sims have no shame. Right? Like, Sims do not care if their blinds are open while they're changing. Like, there's no concept of, like, peeping Toms in a Sim unless you have mods. In which case, this house would be an absolutely unmitigated disaster. But hey, I don't personally play with those mods, so that's on you to figure out. If you do, though, let me know how it goes, because I am a little bit curious. I do like how this little seating area turned out. This build let me kind of play with some really fun colors and textures. If you're wondering where those pillows came from, those are from the event that I think just ended, or is just about to end by the time you see this. You'll be seeing this on Halloween, by the way. Happy Spooky Day. I did not do a Halloween build this year because, you know, I like Halloween, and I've been kind of in the spooky spirit, but I've mostly just been in the, like, oh my goodness, it's fall and everything needs to be winterized spirit, and so I haven't really had, like, Halloween on the brain. But, you know, living in an entirely glass house with no curtains might be spooky enough for some of us. It's spooky enough for me. But anyways, those pillows are from the event that was happening in line with the Adventure Awaits launch. Which is why you're seeing those, because I think I started building this, like, the first or second week. Or maybe I started just a little bit before. I'm trying to remember. It literally started the day the glass walls came out, and then built it over the course of the event and stuff. This build actually took quite a while. That's why it's such a long speed build, even though it's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, which, like, you would think that wouldn't take that long, because usually they don't, but it's like kind of a huge build for what it is. Like, I never make, 12 tile bathrooms? That's huge. Usually my bathrooms are 6. They're half of that. This is usually this would be 2 bathrooms, but look at this shower. Isn't it amazing? This bathroom's, like, a little bit intentionally tacky in a cute way. Side note, I don't know if you can hear Watson snoring. He has decided to snore. He is hanging out with us. We're recording on our lunch break. So he's hanging out with us, and he's decided a snore is necessary. Little guy is having some allergies right now because the weather is changing. Like, it was 25 degrees when I got up this morning, which is a touch cold. So, but anyways, I was going with, like, kind of, I don't want to say tacky, but, like, kind of tacky, but, like, in a elegant way. That makes no sense. This bathroom, again, was supposed to be a little bit, like, almost very vaguely 1920s inspired, because this whole build, like I said, is very supposed to be, like, retro futurism. And if you look at a lot of those inspos, they are very sleek and very streamlined, but they do have callbacks to, like, those very, like, Art Deco, even, like, sometimes in certain, like, as I have a bunch of reference photos, in certain reference photos, you can even see a little bit of, like, maybe that Art Nouveau vibe. If you ever wondered the difference, and I often wonder the difference, the best way I've ever heard it described is Art Deco is, like, dwarves built it, and Art Nouveau is, like, fairies built it. And I think, like, they're the same style, but built by different mythical creatures. I think that helps sum it up. But in a mid-mod build, a lot of times you'll see a little bit of that callback to, like, that Art Deco vibe, especially in a retrofuturism kind of build, especially in, like, a showcase build like this. So we were leaning that way more with the bathrooms, and I thought it made good sense, because the other option was, like, some really intense, like, 1950s pink bathrooms, and that just didn't quite feel right for this house, because while it is very much the mid-mod futurism vibe, it's The Sims, and it's a modern home, right? Like, it's meant for a modern Sim, so I didn't want it to be, like, I think it'd be really fun to do a build with, like, a really intense pastel pink bathroom. In fact, we did one recently with the beach boxes to some extent, but it'd be really fun to do, like a time capsule type home. But that wasn't what this is. You know, that was not. This is, like, supposed to be like a Street of Dreams home, or like someone would walk through and, like, decide what they liked out of this home, kind of thing, like a spec home, I guess you would maybe call it. But that doesn't even quite, like, describe it. And here we're putting together the absolutely massive bedroom. Like, this should be, like, 3 bedrooms. And if it wasn't a glass house, it absolutely would be 3 bedrooms. But because it's a glass house and we're trying not to put walls in, it is one bedroom. and it is got like a seating area and a little like reading nook. I do like the seating area, and can I just say, the view from this bedroom, phenomenal. This would be where I would sit all the time. This is where I would spend 98% of my time. I honestly don't know how much of the downstairs living room I would sit in because I would feel very exposed to the road. Up here is like just hidden behind the bathroom enough that like you could almost feel cozy, and the view is phenomenal. And the view up here is really, really great. So this little area I really, really liked. Again, this house would benefit from a refit with walls because it's a great lot and there's like some really good vibes here. But I was having fun with the walls, and you might have noticed too at some point the walls changed. What you didn't see was like a couple different wall changes, me just like fussing with it, trying to figure out how these walls were gonna work. Because they're really cool, but I will say, because you can't decide where the splits are in some of the patterns, it is it can be like a little fussy. I did also add, like, I wanted the illusion that like the curtains could be pulled all the way around. They are sheer curtains because again, you know, it's a glass house, but I thought it was acceptable to have maybe some like sheer curtains to give the illusion that you weren't just like hanging out sleeping where, you know, anybody and everyone can watch you. Here's a little reading nook. It's just a little red reading nook. I thought it was cute. I liked how these color swatches matched enough. I thought it was kind of fun. And obviously I have it at nighttime because like the vibes, they are correct. Now we're going to start working on this little outdoor space up here. We're going to put some skylights in. The skylights also make the lighting really rough. The skylights don't help the lighting situation downstairs, but it felt, there was kind of this vibe of like, it's a glass house and I don't have enough glass here. I didn't put any skylights in the second story. One could argue I could have put skylights in the second story. Maybe I should have, but I did not. And here I really wanted just like a cozy hangout space. So there's this little upstairs fireplace that I thought would be like really nice. Maybe sit out here, read a book kind of thing. Or if you're like some sort of like cool corporate person, like fancy CEO or something, you could work out here. And then I put some plants up, and I did give us a little yoga space because that felt very in line with like the house's vibe. But I did want some form of activity out here, right? So there's a little meditation stool, a little yoga area, and the little plant wall kind of serves to block that a little bit because again, there's absolutely no privacy in this home. And this is one of those homes where you build it and you're like, this is $1 million home that nobody would want because holy cow, the lack of privacy would drive me bonkers. Absolutely bonkers here. Obviously have to put the very modern mailbox in because of course we do. And then I was trying to go minimalist with the landscaping. I really struggle with landscaping in general, but especially minimalist landscaping and especially desert landscaping. Like I really do, like, I'm never really sure when it feels like enough and when it feels like I'm being lazy. So I put some different beds in. I tried to make it look, this is she or he or they, whoever lives here. I had a female presenting sim as my tester sim, so in my head the owner is a she. They have a gardener, right? Like, because maintaining this in the desert would be insane. Originally, okay, the backyard took a bit because in my head originally I didn't have fences. In my head originally I just had like a couple of cute walls that kind of just like a little bit defined the space, but I couldn't get my head wrapped around how to do that in The Sims in a way that didn't look messy or unfinished. In reality, I can see how to do it in a way that I feel like would have been really cool, but I cut most of it out, but I couldn't quite see, and I honestly didn't want quite as big a backyard as we had, so here's where I just kind of go, oh, I'm fencing this in. And also, originally I had a way in. I do believe I end up just cutting that out, and you have to go through the house to get to the backyard, because I used walls instead of fences, so obviously I couldn't just use like a fence gate, but I didn't, I fought with this for a little while. I ultimately give up, because the thing too was like, this is the chunkiest part of the house. I'm pretty sure I get rid of that. Maybe I leave it. Honestly, I can't remember now. It'll be an adventure for both of us. Here you can see the in-ground hot tub, which is really, really cool. I briefly debated popping it up on its own stool. I can't remember if I stuck with that idea or not. I don't think so, because I think I ultimately started laughing at myself for getting an in-ground pool or in-ground hot tub and then wanting to pop it up on a step. But I did pop the little outdoor kitchen up on a step because I wanted the sim to be able to see a little bit of the view. Now, the view is still pretty dang good from the backyard. It's not as phenomenal as from the upstairs because you have some rocks and stuff in your way. There's like a little bit of like a natural barrier to this area to see the view. So I did pop this up a little bit so you could see, but the view here is going to be a little bit more like up and away into the mountains and not so much down over the valley, which is like fine. Your sim does not care. Your sim is not as into it as I am. I'm very lucky because in my real life house, I live up on the edge of a valley, so I get to see the whole valley and then the mountains, and I'm very, very spoiled in that way. I love my little view here. It makes for some brilliant sunsets. And so, like, I was kind of trying to build this house with that in mind, where I was like, man, if I lived here, the whole reason I would live here is for the view, right? So kind of can see it from the outdoor kitchen, kind of can't, obviously can't see it from the pool or anything like that. And I did give a little bit of privacy because, I don't know, something about swimming in a pool feels very, like, vulnerable. Bless you. I don't know if y'all could hear that. Watson is up and moving now and has sneezed. He's probably being quite loud in the background. Here I was trying to figure out, like, some kind of, like, vaguely deserty but, like, obviously maintained gardens. I did totally clip most of these into the house and had to fix it. It's fine. I like the way this looks. It does look like desert plants to me, I think. It does look like it fits into the desert, but is like a maintained garden. Because I didn't want, like, some sort of, like, English cottage garden where, like, it's very lush and overgrown. I love that look, to be clear. I think that look is awesome. But I didn't want that here because that's obviously not the vibe. Like, you can see even in the landscaping behind it off lot, they have, like, these raised beds and, like, these very serious, like, these are the moments we're taking care of kind of vibe. So I was trying to do that as well. And then just some cozy, like, pool stuff, you know. Have, like, kind of a little bit of a retro diving board, a little round pool, putting all the lights in, making sure there's lots of places to lounge and hang out because what is the point of a pool if you cannot enjoy it? And a little seating area because we obviously have an outdoor kitchen. So we have two kitchens. Your sim has lots of opportunities to cook and a hot tub, lots of opportunities to lounge, lots of opportunities to entertain, as long as your guests don't mind being a little bit on parade, you know. I am going to be fully honest with you, though, too. I don't know if those bar stools are going to work. I didn't test it. They're kind of just there for aesthetics. I really can't imagine Sims are going to sit at those bar stools a lot anyway. But they might be a little bit too close to the edge. It's more for appearances. And here I'm just starting to, like, try to build out the lot a little bit so it doesn't just look like an empty lot. I wanted the like, landscaping around it to kind of fade in a little bit. So I tried to put some, like, plants, a little bit of rockery here and there. Trying to make it look like the landscaping that isn't, like, super maintained is creeping in on the build a little bit. Just because sometimes when you have a lot, like, that's bigger than your build, it can look like just dead space, and we didn't want dead space. So you are paying for the, like, overgrown part of your lot, but, you know, eventually your sim will, like, move into that area, and I think it'll be fine. And the ever final terrain paint here, which I'm gonna be so honest with you, is not gonna come to you off the gallery. Like, I don't know what it is, dude. I cannot get my terrain paint to stay at all. So if you get it off the gallery and you get to see the terrain paint, that's super exciting. I would doubt it. But terrain paint usually I just use to sort of make the plants look like they're actually on the ground and make the building look like it's actually on the ground, because otherwise it can kind of look like it's just floating on top. It's just kind of like a fun little visual thing. But we're doing the screenshots now, and I think I'm going to let you just enjoy the screenshots because I've been talking your ear off for literally, I think, a half hour, which, oh my goodness, thank you for listening. But I hope you're having a good day and you're feeling loved. And if you're not feeling loved, please know that I love you. I'm glad you exist. I'm glad you're here hanging out. You make the world a better place just by being you. I don't know what's up next because this is going out Halloween, and then I gotta build some things. I think I might have another apartment building in my soul. I've been loving that so much. I've been loving those apartment buildings, so we might be doing something with that. But we'll see. But anyways, I think that's all for me. Okay, love you, bye!